2012. Many people agree that on December 21st, 2012, something very significant will occur, maybe even catastrophic like in that video. And the cool thing is everybody in this room will experience it firsthand. The Mayan calendar is connected to many predictions and conspiracies involving 2012, and because of this, people are preparing for this, as well as getting supplies and things like that. It's also showing up in pop culture, in movies, books, television, and because of this, it's getting a lot of attention. It also has caused some people to take some drastic steps to prepare. First, we're going to talk about the Mayans and the Mayan calendar. Secondly, we'll talk about some of the conspiracies and prophecies involved with 2012. We will then talk about some of the preparations that people are taking for 2012, and then finish with pop culture and some of the previous attempts at doomsday that did not actually occur.
There are many reasons why the end of the world has been a highly discussed subject. The Mayan calendar has been one of those main reasons. Many people have been interpreting it wrong, therefore they are thinking that the world is going to end. According to a newspaper, The Telegraph, published on October 11, 2009, a tablet was given to the Mayans by a god called Bolan Yokti. He was a god associated with war and creation. He was our equal to Jesus. He would come back after the destruction and help rebuild the creation and society from the ground up. In the 1960s, when road constructors in southern Mexico they unearthed the tablet, and it almost did not survive. There were many erosions and cracks on the tablet, and therefore it was almost illegible. Not only in 2012, but in 4772, the world may also end. In every 26,000 years, the Milky Way lines up with the sun, and therefore that may cause the world to end. The Mayans aren't the ones who exploded the idea that the world is going to end. Western culture exploded that idea. According to USA Today, by an article written by Jeffrey McDonald, published on March 7, 2007, the Mayans are very strong and influential in astronomy. Another article by Tulane.edu, The Sky is Not Falling, published 2008, said that the calendar is ending, but it's just a new cycle, and it happens every couple thousands of years. It's equal to our 12-month calendar, except it's every couple thousand of years.
Now that we've learned a little bit about the Mayans and their involvement with the 2012 theory, it's easier to see how predictions have been coming up along the years. Predictions of the world's end have been causing question and panic for centuries. According to the movie Nostradamus 2012 by the History Channel made in 2009, the Mayan culture is not the only one who has tried predicting the world's end. It is said by some believers that the Egyptian pyramids of Giza are not actually just for show. It is said that the Egyptians specifically placed them there to be in direct alignment with the constellation Orion. It is said that the 3 pyramids are each in direct alignment with the 3 studs upon Orion's belt. It is said that they specifically placed them in this spot to actually mark the halfway point between the 26,000 year span of the galactic alignment. Another cultural item that has affected the 2012 theory is the Bible. In the Bible, we all know that Jesus is supposed to one day return to us in our great time of need and help out. But according to the Bible, it does say that no one knows the exact date or time that this will happen. However, some 2012 believers still believe that this may be the time that it's talking about is December 21st. According to the aforementioned, one of the most well-recognized and well-spoken prophets of our ever known was a man named Nostradamus from the 15th century. Our world has faced at least 5 extinctions before now, and some people say that Nostradamus may be the one to predict the next. A book of his was discovered in Rome just recently and withholds 7 different sketches of what some believe may show the world's end. They believe it has secret warning signs within it and that we should be listening to this. Also, some believe that it is not just a coincidence that the book came to us right now. They believe that fate allowed everyone to unearth the book now for the time of need that will be coming. Nostradamus' prophecies, through his sketches and writings, also called quatrains, have been of study for centuries. It is said that Nostradamus gained these prophecies from studying the stars. Through his studying of the stars, he learned that the night sky moves 1 degree every 72 years. This form of study is called the precession of the equinox. It was through this study and through the studies of the Mayans that he discovered something called the galactic alignment, which is supposedly going to happen in 2012. Everyone has their own versions of what they believe will happen in 2012, whether it be earthquakes that shatter the earth or fires that roam the countries. But one thing is for certain, that 2012 will be a day of events. Some of the physical events people fear on this day are supervolcanoes. One of the supervolcanoes is located right in our country. If Yellowstone volcano was to erupt, it would take out a circular area of 1,600 miles. Also, people fear that the coasts of countries will disappear into the oceans and bodies of water that surround them forever with 2012. Some of the modern prophets, though, say that this is something we shouldn't be focusing on. Some of the main things we should be focusing on are what could happen to us socially, like the stock market crashing again or wars erupting out of fear. Most of the rumors have either been started by prophets or have been just made up along the way. According to 2012, Beginning of the End, or Why the World Won't End by Jason Townsend of NASA, last updated on January 11th of 2012, one of the main rumors that is circulating right now is of a mysterious planet called Nibiru, which is supposedly come in alignment with the Earth on December 21st, 2012. However, NASA said that this is just a rumor, and if there was some mystery dark planet coming at us, we'd know it by now.
Because of these predictions, many people are starting to make extreme preparations. Some people are starting to prepare their whole families for what could happen on December 21st. They are preparing for what could happen and turning it into a game. Now, according to abcnews.com, Apocalypse Prep Put On Your Gas Mask Kids, an article written by Susan Donaldson James, last updated August 22nd, 2011, these families are putting on their gas masks and their protective clothing as quickly as they can. Most of you probably play games with your family, but these are very different than the games that you play. Each time they play these games, they time themselves to see how quickly they can put on their clothing, and each time they try and go faster so it'd be easier for them to survive what could happen. Some families are taking the extreme and training all their younger children. According to tvblogs.nationalgeographic.com, Doomsday Preppers Back to the Stone Age, an article written by Megan Gleason, last updated February 13th, 2012, these families are training their little children with guns. They are training them how to shoot them precisely in case anything could occur. And when they say younger, it could be to the ages of 6. Now, some people are also starting conventions for what could happen. According to the aforementioned abcnews.com, a man named Dennis McClung started the very first Doomsday Convention. He held it in Arizona, and hundreds of people showed up. At this convention, all the people got together and they were canning foods and getting gas masks and anything they believed they would need to survive. Now, according to abcnews.com, Will the World End in 2012, an article written by Christine Brower, last updated July 3rd, 2008, some people are starting survival groups. These survival groups are kind of like the conventions, but they're much smaller. They are a little group of people getting together and talking about their plans on how they plan to survive doomsday. They hope by the end of their group that they will have a perfect ideal plan on how they all will survive doomsday. According to the aforementioned, some people are starting to get big piles of materials together to survive. Some people can go to online stores and buy the materials that they may need. Now these online stores have only the larger items that they would hope to find. These larger items would be like knife kits, gas masks, or bulletproof vests. Some people are also putting together smaller survival kits. Now these survival kits have a large range of what could be on them. Some may be like survival kits that we would know with just knives or water or food or anything most of us have in our own survival kits. But some of these lists can be up to 11 pages long, full of things that people believe they will need to have in preparation for what could happen. According to the aforementioned tvblogs.nationalgeographic.com, people are starting to get food prepared for doomsday. Some people are investing their money and getting food in return. One man invested $40,000 and only got 11,000 food seeds in return. He said that he did this because he believes that all of the food will die because of radiation during doomsday, and he hopes to plant all of his food seeds to thousands of acres so people will have food to survive. Some people are also getting piles of guns and ammo together. As Taylor had mentioned, some believe that a war or riots could break out after doomsday, and people believe that they will need to be stocked up in guns and ammo to be able to protect themselves after doomsday. People are also getting piles of alcohol to save after doomsday. Now, this may seem strange, but they are doing this because they believe that alcohol will become the new dollar. People will have a strong demand for it because they will turn to alcohol for their needs. Some people also believe that alcohol will be able to be traded or used as a bartering tool instead of money. Alcohol will be more common than money, and it will be used in lots of situations. According to the aforementioned abcnews.com, some people are starting to breed smaller animals like rabbits, and they are doing this because they will breed animals in large quantities and they plan to kill them and then eat them for food to survive. Lastly, people are getting lots of housing prepared to store their things and to keep their families to live in after the apocalypse. According to the aforementioned nationalgeographic.com, people are starting to get secret compartments in barns to hold their food. They are keeping these compartments in secret because they don't want everyone to know that they have food, because if they did, everyone would go to them and try and get food, and it wouldn't be enough left for their families. People are also getting shipping containers ready for their families to live in. Some people are getting these shipping containers out in the deserts, like in Arizona. Now these shipping containers are different than a house like we would have. They're bugging out their shipping containers, and what that means is that they are getting away from everything else. There's no electronics or anything. It's just a place for their whole family to live away from everyone else in the world. Now some people are also getting bunkers ready to live in for their families. These bunkers are much different than the containers. Bunkers would be just like a house to us. They have kitchens, they have bathrooms, they have bedrooms. Everything someone would need to live in just like a house are in these bunkers. Now, people are also getting bomb shelters prepared for after doomsday. They're getting these bomb shelters because they believe that if a nuclear bomb were to strike, they would be in these bomb shelters because all the houses would be gone and there would be nowhere else to live. Lastly, people are getting second houses built up in mountains. And they are doing this because they believe that up in the mountains it will be easier to get a strong radio connection to be able to talk and communicate with the other survivors after doomsday and be able to figure out everyone's plan on how to survive and keep going after what had occurred.
Now, all this over-speculation has caused the Mayan calendar and doomsday itself to become a major trending topic in today's media and pop culture. This is due in large part because of our enormous social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter, and it may also be in part of, for those with little to no formal form of education, they may be a little more enticed to start believing in the 2012 chop and kind of hop on the train, if you will. And according to Dr. Mark Hitchcock's article, 2012 Predictions Provoke a Media Storm, posted in 2012. 2012 is absolutely everywhere. Books on 2012 are flying off the shelves, and most of them are just published by like self-proclaimed prophets of 2012, where they describe what they have seen the end of the world to be. And major network news stations and websites all like feature 2012 in many of their programs, and the majority of which have a countdown that has like days, hours, seconds, and minutes that count down to when December 21st is going to come. And one of the bigger programs that is out now is on the National Geographic Channel, which is Doomsday Preppers, and this kind of it shows the lives of people who have really taken preparation of 2012 to the extreme, and we will be seeing a few excerpts of that shortly.
So this first clip, this is a family. They have their own apple orchard, and what they're doing is they are grinding it up and making their own apple cider to store for later and to possibly use for trade if the world were to collapse. And here's another example. This person is storing canned goods in their household, thousands of items in case of the apocalypse where they need food. Here's another, almost a hoarder. It seems like this guy, his whole home has basically been taken over by goods and amenities that he's keeping in case they are needed later. This guy right here did a pretty cool thing. He had a outdoor pool that he built a shed over and converted it into a fishery where they are raising fish, and he's teaching his child to fish from it daily so that they can become used to retrieving the fish and actually eating the fish in case they need food in the future. And then this same family, they also have goats in their backyard, and like you can see, they're teaching their children how to milk the goats so that they can get milk for their use. And then here's another example of using their children. This guy is teaching his children to, he's got this janky machine that takes, like, it creates flour in like 10 minutes a day, can create flour for the family. And then this guy, he's part of one of the survival groups that were previously mentioned, so there's several families together. And he's created his own machine that takes meat and turns it into beef jerky so it will last longer and he can save it and use it whenever he wants. And like previously mentioned, they use their children and show their children what to do in case of emergency. And here, this family, they're teaching their children how to put on their hazmat suits and their gas masks. And these people are using it as a game, like they're Haberfest. Like you can do it, you get praised and rewarded. So see, this child gets on quick, gets a high five, good job. And then they also converted their guest bedroom into a storage area. So they have their gas masks on the shelves, as well as like all their other necessities that they will need in case there is an apocalypse. This guy's pretty funny.
Kitty cats, dogs, rats, pigeons, squirrels, doves, and all that.
So he's basically creating his own weapons in his garage. He's taking PVC pipe and fiberglass and creating his own bows and arrows to hunt small game. You can see him here, he's stalking small animals. He looks like he's having a good time, but as he's practicing for if it would ever happen like that, he would need to get small game. And here you can see a 6-year-old being taught how to fire a handgun in a shooting range. It's probably one of the more...
Twice a month if the weather's nice. Okay, so hold that just like Daddy showed you. Okay. You got it right in the middle. Very nice.
So today we've talked about the Mayans and their calendar and some of the predictions and conspiracies that have gone along with it. We've also talked about how people are preparing for the possible events and how it has influenced pop culture. So next time on December 21st, I know all of you guys will be sitting on the edge of your chairs watching to see what happens because I know I will be.